not shipping them. Askeladd is.
Hello everyone and welcome back to a special presentation of Anime Club After Dark. With me tonight I have our chivalry of Shota Shotaro.
I ain't bluffing with my muffin.
No, I'm not even, no. So, episode 12 of Vinland Saga. Some things happened. I guess we can start out with how the episode itself began, with Askeladd acting, not at all suspicious, not acting like he knows what's up. But yeah, so this episode starts out with Askeladd and his men, now that they've actually recaptured, I guess you could say, Canute, trying to stay ahead of Thorkel and his men because he knows that they're behind him and they're going to come and attack again eventually. And Askeladd has a plan, Askeladd has a plan, but he doesn't tell anybody about it. Why?
He wants to cover up his ties with whoever those people are. I forgot what they are. The Welsh?
Yes.
I didn't even know the Welsh existed until today when I watched this episode. Who are the Welsh? Oh, those wannabe English people. I just offended so many people. But anyways, that was a lie. I didn't know about the Welsh. But yes, he was clearly not being explicit about his relationship with the Welsh, which I'm guessing just out of nowhere that he was married to a Welsh woman and the Welsh woman and him have something. That's all I have with my theory, okay? But that's my theory. That's what he's hiding.
I have another theory.
What's your theory?
He is Welsh.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. I have about as much theory or much evidence for my theory as you have of yours.
So he's a spy?
Maybe. I mean, we already know that Askeladd is really intelligent because he's able to play both sides of a situation to his own advantage. So would it be so out of left field to say that maybe he's,
didn't
working...
the ferryman said that Askeladd had a Welsh accent, didn't he?
He said that he spoke English very well, but he had a bit of an accent.
Okay. I forget the exact words he used.
Yeah, the ferryman does bring up the fact that he speaks English very, very well, but he does have an accent. So I mean, I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that he has some tie, whether it's like you say that he was married to someone who was Welsh, or that he himself has some Welsh blood in him. I don't know. He has some kind of tie to Wales, he definitely has some kind of friendship tied to the people of Wales, as we find out later in the episode, because that's what this entire exchange with him and the ferryman at the very beginning of the episode is all about, him delivering a message to the people of Wales across the river.
So
I'm wondering why he didn't tell anybody, though. How does it help him by keeping all of his people in the dark? Why wouldn't he at least tell Bjorn?
Bjorn is only for sex, not for any emotional connection. No, but
where do you come up with this shit?
I have a very creative mind. Thank you. I am an artiste. I am a crack shipper. Okay, this is so off topic. No, I had something actually relevant to say, but so this speculation about his ties with Wales might have something to do with Askeladd's mysterious motivations that he's been clearly hiding and have not been explicit at all. So maybe that might explain why what he's actually after. Maybe something to do with Wales.
Maybe
else I was gonna say, but I think that's and if that is true, that he is trying to do something for Wales that he hasn't told anybody about, then it's very, very bold of him to reveal his ties with Wales to his crew. because now if they ever suspect him in the future of doing something weird, they have the knowledge that he's friends with whales, so they can put 2 and 2 together and figure that out. So ACAD is taking a huge gamble by revealing his ties to whales, and I find that interesting. That means he's put into a corner, and that might be foreshadowing for his death.
Maybe.
Because,
so are you saying the only reason he is doing this now is because he feels like he's being backed into a corner?
Clearly, he's not happy about having to rely on his ties with Welsh. He's like brooding in the corner. It's like, I don't want to talk about it. Just leave me alone.
God, Bjorn, why you gotta be so nosy?
God, Bjorn, it was just one night.
Will you stop trying to shit them cheeses?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to say the writing of ACAD is really good if it's making us come up with all these theories.
He's such a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
He is. But yeah, I hope that more of this gets unraveled. Maybe this is the beginning, as you say, of his downfall, foreshadowing his eventual demise. Because he's having to finally start to rely on others instead of his own, wherewithal. He's revealing his secrets. Yeah. So something else that happened in this episode, we got to hear Knut's voice for the first time. That was cool.
Oh my god. So me and Alex just went through the voice actor ography. I don't know, the animeography of the voice actor of Knut, who is Kensho Ono in the Japanese dub. I don't know if there are any other dubs out right now.
AKA Giorno Giovanna from JoJo's.
More relevantly, he is Kuroko. He is Mikaela from Seraph of the End, and he's Selene from Aldnoah Zero. All very gay characters that have a lot of porn. But
also, he's the I have to bring this up. He's the Japanese voice of Harry Potter.
Okay, we didn't need to hear that. Just forget that.
No, I had to bring that up just because I found that on Wikipedia.
That's great. But anyways, I just wanted to bring up the animeography because I immediately recognized that voice, and I'm like, I know you from my late nights of shipping. I know you. And then I'm like, oh, that's where you're from. I see you. And also, we're like freaking out. Like, we haven't talked about any of the other voice actors, but we're freaking about this voice actor because to fucking 12 episodes in, and we get the first voice line now. Like, girl, that contract negotiation must have taken a long time if you're just starting work now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Honey. But that was interesting. I also found it hilarious that his very first line was like, oh, I see an eagle in the sky. Why don't you catch it for me, Ragnar? And Ragnar's like, bitch, do you know that we're running for our lives? And then Knut's just like, hair flip, I want an eagle. Can you catch it?
I love Ragnar's reaction was great. It's like, bitch, I'm talking here.
It's like, but I want an eagle. That was hilarious. That was a funny moment for me. Unlike the previous funny moments that the show has tried to do. That caught me off guard.
You liked it because it's a very gay thing to do.
There's many things in the show that are very gay things to do.
Well, okay. I will give you that. You're absolutely right. But this one was particularly very bottom-esque.
I think we knew he was a bottom before he opened his mouth.
Well, he certainly plays the part really well, though. But yeah, it was a heck of a first line. It was kind of funny. And that line kind of echoes what some of the characters have said about Knut in the story, that they don't think that he's particularly ready to become king, because he's like, the whole thing with like the hawk, it's like, it seems very immature.
Get your head out of the clouds, literally.
Yeah,
we have some stuff to do.
Yeah, but it seems kind of immature. Like, he's not very worldly, or he doesn't really grasp what's going on.
Yeah, immature is a word for it. I guess.
Maybe it's an act. I don't know.
I don't think it's an act.
I don't think it is either. I'm just saying it could be. It'd be brilliant if it were.
That would be quite the plot twist. And then Askeladd. This time it's Askeladd, not Thorkel.
I'm glad you finally got the difference between the two down.
Askeladd assigns Thorfinn to be Canute's bodyguard, which I just have to say, like,
if you're gonna say you're gonna start shipping them, I will fucking slap
OTP.
you across the fucking
I'm not
face.
shipping them. Askeladd is.
Although
Askeladd is shipping them.
I grunt about that. There probably already is doujinshi featuring those two.
No, but like, you don't think the show is shipping them? The show is like 1,000% shipping them.
I think you are shipping them.
No, what the hell? It's like so obvious. Okay, I don't understand what you see in this show.
Why is it that every time an anime's plot puts two somewhat attractive male characters together, your immediate reaction is, they must want to fuck.
But I honestly don't find either of them attractive. But I will say that the show is shipping. Yeah, I know you find Canute attractive, but that's not my kink. Not my type. Anyway, the first thing I have to say is that the show is blatantly shipping them. Second thing is that when Thorfinn got assigned to Canute, Thorfinn just like gives him the cutest pout ever. Oh my god, it was so adorable. It was so like over the top angry, and I'm like, this is the cutest thing I've seen in my life.
It's like that meme, anime girls pouting is the cutest thing.
Exactly.
It was a hell of a stare down though, wasn't it?
And then Canute hides behind Ragnar like, protect me.
So I guess it was shortly before this when this happened, but we find out that's when Askeladd takes his band, or his, what do we call it, his troop, to meet the Welsh when they had those massive ships. Those massive ships are really cool looking too, by the way. And they meet Gratianus, who is supposed to be the head of a specific Welsh tribe.
Tribe is a word. I would consider it like a province.
I guess. Obviously, he and Askeladd have some history, judging by the way they talked with each other. They kind of talk as if they're old friends.
Exes.
Anyway. I also love how Gratianus mistakes Thorfinn for the prince instead of Canute.
Foreshadowing. That's all I can say.
And then all the people are looking at him like, that's the prince? More like princess, if you ask me.
Did they say that? I don't remember that.
I think that was actually a line from episode 11, but it's kind of the way that Gratianus like looks at Thorfinn and then looks at Canute. It's like he's thinking it. He ain't saying it, but he's thinking it.
I guess. I feel less that it's about his femininity and more about his like
shyness.
No, his shyness, basically. Yeah.
So you don't think it has anything to do with his looks?
No, I feel like Gratianus is all like, he was looking at the commitment. I don't know. There's a word for it. Like the commitment that Thorfinn and Canute has in their eyes, like what they've been through. The resolve. Yeah, resolve. And like clearly Thorfinn is resolved to do what he has set out to do. Very adamantly, and Canute doesn't have much resolve at all. So I think that's what was being talked about. Personally,
I could see that. I had a thought about where to go from here, but I lost it.
Oh no!
I was thinking about Canute's beautiful locks. I guess so. There's a line that Askeladd has in this episode that I want to ask you about.
Uh-huh.
He has this line that's it's like, the more you fall for a man, the less things go how you want. What do you think he meant by that?
I think he was talking about Thor's. I forget, but I feel like there was like a visual flashback to Thor's. I'm like almost 100% sure there was a visual flashback to Thor's.
There was.
Right? Okay, there was. So that means that he respected Thor's, but why? There's clearly a backstory and a relationship. Maybe not like a direct relationship, but like, and maybe like there's like a middleman, like his friend of a friend or whatever. But clearly there's a backstory there.
Or perhaps they met on the battlefield once, a long time ago. They could have been fighting for opposite sides.
Maybe. But there's just more mysteries about Askeladd's motivations, and I am intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that Askeladd has a history with Thor's that goes further back than him just being hired by Floki to kill him.
I feel like there's definitely more between them.
Yeah. So another the most of the second half of this story is about Askeladd and his troop being escorted through Wales by Gratianus and some of his men to basically secure passage to the northern part of England by way of going through Wales. And they're trying to do this to avoid running into or having to fight Thorkel and his men again. And by doing this, I think they're hoping to kind of lose Thorkel in like some confusion or whatever. Do you think that plan's going to work? First off.
No. Well, okay,
so
first of all,
Thorkel will find them.
First of all, already we know it's not going to work because at the end of the episode they got ambushed. But before that, like while watching the episode, I still didn't think it was going to work. Because what kind of bullshit plan is this? You're gonna walk through the mountains the long way around, girl.
Yeah,
that just sounds stupid.
I mean, on the one hand, yeah, you're not having to directly fight Thorkel and his men. Okay, great. But on the other hand, you're having to march your own people through the mountains, exhausting them further than they already are, and giving Thorkel and his men a chance to rest and regroup.
I don't think you're going to make it out of the mountains. It just sounds like a really inefficient plan that's just, there's a lot of holes. And one of the holes is you're going to get ambushed in the mountains. Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, and they were ambushed by archers, and they, I hate to borrow a line from Star Wars, but they have the high ground in this situation. And as we all know, archers that have the high ground are probably going to win.
We've seen that before.
We've seen it before in this show.
Yep.
I do want to say there was one sequence that I thought, number one, was pretty well animated, but was also really cool. And it's when Askeladd's horse that he's riding gets shot like by 18 fucking arrows in the head. And the horse like rears back and starts bucking. And Askeladd, in some kind of like feat of wonderful foresight, jumps off of the horse and lands on his feet. That was really cool.
I don't remember that at all.
I can't imagine in that situation that would be the easiest thing to do. So it just was, number one, it was really cool of Askeladd to be able to do that. And number two, I thought it was really well animated when they did it.
Nice.
But yeah, one thing we don't know who these archers are. We don't know if they were sent by Thorkel, if they are Thorkel's men, if there's some other third party entirely that we haven't seen before.
Wait,
there's
don't
a
we
lot.
know?
I guess you can assume, but it isn't explicitly stated in the episode.
No, not explicitly stated, but I think it's obvious.
Maybe, but I don't know. It was a great way to end the episode, though, because it definitely ends on a cliffhanger, but it also leaves you in enormous suspense for what's going to happen next. Because the episode itself ends with a bunch of quick cuts to different characters, and then kind of back to where we are. I think the last shot is actually on Thorfinn, just looking up at the archers and like, "All right, bitches, let's do this."
I like the quick cuts because it really shows how this story is taking place in like multiple locations and how all these characters are going to be integral to the overall story, but all of their like micro encounters are going to build up to the overall story and they're all in different locations. So I did like that directorial choice, and it did make me excited for the next episode.
And one thing we actually saw during these quick cuts was Leif Erikson, who we haven't seen in many episodes yet. It's been what, 4 or 5 episodes since the last time we saw him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's definitely aged. He's aged significantly.
Like a granddaddy.
He's aged significantly, and you see him. He's at some kind of a harbor or some kind of a trading post somewhere, and he looks over and he sees a child that looks not insignificantly like Thorfinn, and you can almost see in his eyes that he thinks for a moment he's seen Thorfinn, and he's like, but then he realizes it's not, and he's like, oh. And of course, the last time we saw Leif Erikson, he was making a promise to not Thorkel. I did it too. To Thorfinn's mom, that he would eventually go out and find Thorfinn and bring him back. And he clearly hasn't done that yet.
What a sad, sad life. Spend all your time looking for a fucking brat that's just run off and is fucking stabbing people in the face. Mm-hmm. So ungrateful.
Yeah, it was a great directorial choice to end the episode that way. To go back to all these characters that we've seen so far that have put these events in motion that we've seen. It's a great way to end it. Certainly a great way to end the first half of this story, or at least what's going to be animated. Because is it 24 or 26 episodes that this is going to be? I believe it's 24. I don't know. I'd have to go check. It's 24. It is. It's going to be 24 episodes. So yeah, this is the halfway point of the adaptation so far.
New OP hype.
Yeah, I know we get. Are you fucking yawning during this?
Yeah.
Sleepy time for you. Yeah. So, what do you think so far at the halfway point? What would you give this adaptation of Vinland Saga?
It's kind of disappointing because, I mean, the manga was so good, so I had really high expectations, and the anime adaptation, like, it has its high points, but it also definitely has its low points. So it's on and off the quality. While I expected it to be really top tier, especially considering its studio wit. So I am disappointed, but it is still a pretty enjoyable show if you take out all the expectations I had.
Yeah, I'd say kind of the same thing. I think I'd be a little more lenient than you were because obviously the anime adaptation didn't start the same way the manga did. But I actually think the anime adaptation was better for not doing that. If I had to give it like a grade so far, I'd probably give the anime adaptation a B-.
I don't do grades, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, I'd say that would be 80%, so that's a B. That's a B-.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you're looking forward to seeing
in the Canadian
half,
system,
though.
that would be an A.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go fucking redo all of my schooling in Canada so I can get better GPA.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're also hyped for the second half just to see how they finish it out.
Honey, survive with my profit. I need that second OP. Better be. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea. I actually haven't even seen the second OP yet because the 13th episode is out when we're recording this, but I haven't watched it yet. So
Well, guess what? We will be doing that very, very soon. So thank you all for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it because we always enjoy bringing this stuff to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can join us on Discord, Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Shoot us an email if you have any questions or if you have ideas for topics you would like for us to talk about in the future. Links to all these things will be down below in the description. As always, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, show.
I would let Askeladd march through my mountains.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.